1 second, let me finish this down real quick.
We're back on the record with the deposition of Melissa Monroe in the case of Melissa Monroe versus Derek Dawson, a copy of Master Incorporated. Time is 7:45 p.m.
All right, Ms. Monroe. Let's go back to when you first started working for CMC, Copy Master Corporation. You got in trouble for, did you get in trouble for calling or making long distance calls?
I did.
Who were you making the calls to?
My family.
Okay, and you just wanted to talk to your family?
Yeah. I was unaware that the calls were, that they were on that budget.
Okay, so it was just a simple misunderstanding. But you went ahead and paid for them.
Yes, I paid them back.
Okay, just making sure. Next, let's jump forward to whenever you met with Pat Spinner. What did he tell you?
At the first or second meeting?
The first meeting.
The first meeting, when I told him about Dawson's behavior, he told me that he would take care of it, not to worry.
Okay, and then after he did his investigation and he came back and you met with him, what did he tell you then?
The second time I met with him, he told me that my story didn't hold up because he couldn't take my word over that of a long-time employee.
Okay, did he mention who he talked to during his investigation?
He did not.
He didn't? Okay,
Oh, well, I know that he talked to Peggy and Dawson, but other than that, I'm not sure who else he talked to.
do you happen to know what Peg Mead said?
I know that she said that she had heard nothing about this.
And why had she not heard anything about this?
Well, because that I knew that Peggy had a previous relationship with Dawson. I hadn't mentioned it to her because I didn't know if she was still interested in getting back together with him. I didn't want to hurt her feelings. She was my friend, so I had never mentioned it to her.
After you left the meeting with Pat Spinner, you went out and you had some drinks with Peg Mead.
I did.
Did you forget to sign out?
I did.
Have you ever done that before?
I have not.
Have you ever done that since then?
No, I have not.
Okay, and immediately afterwards, what did you do once you realized your mistake?
When I realized that I had not signed out, I called my secretary and she signed me out for a half day.
Okay. And I remember you saying that you were upset.
Yes, I was.
Can you work well while you're upset?
I think I can work pretty well.
If you're not feeling well, or what? I'm sorry. What did you actually say to your secretary? I forgot. I'm sorry.
I just told her that I had signed out, or that I had left.
Okay.
And that I had forgotten to sign out.
And do you know anybody else in the company that's ever been fired for being for signing out?
I do
Forgetting
not.
to sign out. Do you know if that is a fireable offense at the company?
I wouldn't think so, but I was fired for it, so.
Okay. Well, after being terminated from Copy Master Corporation, did you seek a therapist?
I did.
And what did this therapist tell you?
She told me that I had PTSD.
If you have PTSD, is it difficult to focus or difficult to work?
It is, yes.
Okay. Whenever you went to Tarmart, did you have trouble working at Tarmart?
I did.
Do you know what caused this trouble?
I believe it was because of all the advances Dawson had made with me, toward me when I was at CMC. So I was kind of stressed out working under male management after that. So I believe that's why I had trouble working there.
So you said that you were upset whenever you had to meet with the other managers at Tarmart.
Objection leading.
Did you have problems whenever you met with the managers at Tarmart?
Yes.
And what caused these problems, or what do you think caused these problems?
I think that I was upset every time I had to meet with upper male management just because I had had problems with that at my last job.
Okay, can we go back to Exhibit 6 real quick? If I can find it. Just let me know whenever you recognize it.
I recognize it.
In this exhibit, it says that your sales figures are the lowest of all the new sales representatives, correct?
Yes, it does say that.
Why do you think this was? Or why do you think they would say this?
Well, I had just lost my biggest client towards the end of the time that I had worked there. He had gone bankruptcy, so there was nothing I could do about that. However, my sales had actually increased month to month after my probationary period, and I was one of the only new sales representatives whose sales increased from month to month.
And did you try to talk to Dawson about this? Did you try to tell him this?
I did. I tried to tell him about my client, who I had just recently lost, and that I was one of the only new employees to, have increased sales each month, and he acted like it just was irrelevant. He didn't want to hear about it.
Okay, can we go back to exhibit 4 and 5? On both of these exhibits, what score did you get out of 5?
I got a 3 out of 5 on both exhibits.
Can you please read what it says under the overall performance level of 3 is?
Meets job requirements, may occasionally exceed expectations.
Thank you very much. That's all I have.
Okay. Yeah, I just have a couple more questions for you, Miss Monroe, and then you can get out of here. Isn't it true that when we were talking earlier, you said that your last anxiety attack was on November 21st, 2010,
Yes,
and you've not had any since?
that is true.
And also, Miss Monroe, if you would just go back to Exhibit 6 as well. And turn with me to the second page. Isn't it true that this paragraph on the second page that starts with the phrase, "I think this appraisal is unfair," these are your comments, is that right?
Yes, that is correct.
And you say that your sales figures have grown since the end of your probation. Is that true?
Yes, that's correct.
But isn't it also true that even though they've grown, your sales were still the lowest of all new sales representatives as indicated by this form?
I was told that I was the only of the new sales representatives whose sales had increased from month to month.
But even though your individual sales had increased from month to month, compared to the other sales representatives, in total, yours were lower. Is that right?
That is what this form says.
And that is the information that you went on, is that right?
Yes.
When you said that someone told you, are you talking about this form?
This was when I was informed that my sales were the lowest. I was not informed any time before that.
Okay, no further questions.
That concludes the deposition of Melissa Monroe.